What up, Causenetic family?
Hey, welcome to the Causenetic podcast at World Council.
Causenetic means being a person or thing that gives rise to a phenomenon that is dynamic or energizing.
Hey, we're tackling topics and telling the truth.
I'm Rodrigua.
Hey, and I'm Keith Vinson.
So today is our first podcast from World Council, and of course they lined up the beautiful ladies for the first podcast joining us today on a podcast called Strength and Resilience. I'm so excited to hear what they have to say. We have Miss Olga Lukina. Did I say that right? Ooh. Oh. Marta Guretska.
Thank you.
And Alina Pop. And y'all should see her nails. They are giving all the life right now. Yes, indeed.
Show them off.
All the nails. Yes, beautiful nails. And they are joining us today to talk about the humanitarian efforts in Ukraine. Welcome to the Causenetic podcast. We are so excited to have you all. Yes, welcome, welcome. So, Olga, talk to us about what's going on with you working closely with the efforts, particularly around fundraising.
Yeah, so the efforts were enormous.
Yeah.
Like on the 21st of February, when we all wake up, no one could expect.
Yeah.
No one could expect. We were all in shock, big shock. So like several hours, we were like actually paralyzed. We didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. But the same day, we already in YMCA Europe, we had our first staff meeting, like urgent emergency staff meeting, so to discuss what are we going to do. Yeah. So definitely we were all on phones, on calls, messages, communicating with all our partners, with our friends, like what's going on in Ukraine, in Romania, in Poland. Yeah, and the decision was to launch the campaign, to launch fundraising campaign. Yeah. Because all of us were receiving messages, how can we help you?
Yeah.
How can we help you? We want to help you. Mm-hmm. Shall we send you humanitarian goods, like medicine and so on? Like people were shipping goods from USA, can you imagine it? Mm-hmm. Yes, and we told now money. Now we need money because this is like what is needed, so people can buy immediately the goods that they need. Yeah. And now you can see the numbers. The fundraising campaign is really, really successful. Yeah. So this is near 1 million through YMCA Europe campaign, and over then 1 million through YMCA USA campaign.
Nice.
This is something to be proud. This is something to be proud as a family.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just can't imagine, right? You just waking up and thinking it's going to be a regular February day. And just like that in a blink. And things are different.
My heart just went out for the young people.
Yeah.
And like the trauma that they're experiencing. Can you talk a little bit about what you guys are doing right now as it relates to how to help young people deal with the situation that they're in?
Yeah. So just like Olga said, we were talking about the war for months, but no one really expected that it will go full scale.
Yeah.
But good thing is that us as YMCA Ukraine, but also us as YMCA Europe and YMCA global community started working on it since day one. We just literally sat down wherever we were in the world, and we started making plans on how to help and really doing it as we go, because none of us were prepared. None of us had similar experiences before, especially us Ukrainians. So the board of the YMCA in Ukraine, but also all of the volunteers on the ground in the local YMCAs started talking to our young leaders and young people, assessing the needs, understanding what we can do and where we can step in to reach more people and really offer them meaningful support.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just to think you had gone through 2 years of a pandemic, right? And now, right at the transition when you're thinking, okay, possibly we could go back to life as normal, whatever that is, this happens and young people are affected and the trauma. And for really young kids, most of their existence, right, has been in some kind of adverse situation. Right. So kudos to you guys for specifically focusing on those young people. That's amazing. And Alina, I want to hear from you. Like, talk to us about some of the youth programming and the things that you're doing to kind of support the young people.
Yeah, as my previous colleagues said, when this started, we didn't know what we need to do. The only thing that we knew is that we need to be there. Right. To be there, stand with and stand by our brothers and sisters who are fleeing.
Yeah.
And the need assessment and working together, because this is what we created. Of course, after the first line interventions at the border, when a lot of people were fleeing, especially young girls, mothers, grandmothers, children, young people with a little bag just crossing the 100 years old wooden bridge that is between our countries, was absolutely heartbreaking. And the first thing that we had in our mind is to ask, how can we be of service? And to provide safe accommodation, meals, safe traveling within Romania or to Western countries. And after 1 month, more than 1 month, at the initiative of our a colleague from another youth association that we are working with, we came together, 6 youth associations, in a consortium which is called ROA, Romania, Ukraine. But ROA also in Romanian means dew, morning dew. In which we provide integrated services. The YMCA is taking care of daycare and youth activities. And our colleagues, they do counseling, rights issues, health issues. So we work together that our members, because this is how we looked at the Ukrainian people who temporarily stayed in our region, members, they have and they can create a sort of normality, especially for their children. My colleagues are doing a very inspirational work on a daily basis, working with kids and as well young people. And last week we started the camps, and we have Romanian campers and we have Ukrainian campers all together. And more of that, the Ukrainian young teenagers, young people, teenagers who are beneficiaries of our youth programs, they are volunteers, they are helping out, they are doing translation, and they feel more and more comfortable. And I will never forget last Thursday, when I said to all of the team that on the last day of camp I won't be with them. One of the Ukrainian girls who was very shy, she came and hugged me. And she said, "Thank you." And I said, "Thank you," because she's 14. And she's doing a tremendous work of translating, trying to have fun, and working side by side so the smaller kids could have fun time in camps.
See, this is at the point in the story that, like, if we were back home in the Baptist church, we get out the white handkerchief right now and just we're wiping tears, but we're waving it all up in the air right now. What a powerful story. And it's like, you know, the situation that we're in right now causes us to have such a powerful story. Like, I wish we didn't have to do that, of course, but what are other great stories that you guys are hearing from your side? Because that is just powerful. You're talking about young people coming together. It's not about, hey, you know, this is ours and this is yours. It's like, no, this is camp. This is a safe space where we can come together and play together. What are some other great testimonies that you guys are hearing out of the, you know, the mess that we're in right now?
I think I can share more stories from the ground, from Ukraine. We get many stories from our local YMCAs, because the YMCAs are basically all over the country. So more or less we have an idea of what's happening. And we did a lot of new things in the last 4 months, you name it. I think one of the newest was evacuation, was bringing people to safe places.
Yeah.
And thanks to Olga and her involvement, we were able to organize evacuation process for a senior lady traveling from the capital city of Ukraine, Kyiv, all the way to the U.S. So it was a long journey and a very complicated one in terms of logistics, because at that time, back in March, I think, Kyiv was still heavily shelled. Air raid sirens all the time, non-stop, airstrikes. Really, you don't want to be out in the street. You want to be sitting in the bomb shelter. So it took us a long time to organize the logistics to bring the lady all the way from Kyiv to the western city of Lviv, which is a little safer, more or less, and then organize a bus trip for her all the way to Poland, and then from Warsaw. Again, more YMCA people involved along the way to organize a trip for her to the US. And stories like that. I mean, Olga and Alina were also sharing about humanitarian supplies and the fact that different countries are sending them to Ukraine. Us, as YMCA Ukraine, we were responsible to distribute them among the locals. And one of our teams of volunteers was actually driving them to the Kyiv region that was at that time still occupied. And so they were delivering these boxes of goods, hygiene, food items, medicine. And on the way back, they were approached by this family. I think it was 4 females and a dog. And they literally asked them for a ride because their bus was empty, their van was empty after delivering all the goods. And YMCA volunteers agreed to bring them from Kyiv region to Lviv, where it's safer. And stories like that just gives you so much hope, because you go there to distribute supplies, but then you end up meeting people who need help, and you cannot say no.
Right.
And you just do it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. We did a podcast not too long ago talking about enough, right? And it was around the idea of you don't have to have huge numbers of something in order for it to be enough for you to jump in and help. Right. The fact that all of those volunteers coalesced around one senior, right, that's trying to make it out, like one small group of women who were trying to help, trying to make it to safety. It wasn't that, oh, we need 10,000 people for it to be a meaningful kind of, operation. Enough. One person, helping that one person at a time is enough. I love that. That's excellent. That's excellent. Oh, so Olga, talk to us about because people are giving you the funds and you guys are fundraising and folks are really being so generous. Talk about what gives you hope, right? Like, you see the generosity, you see the people who are willing to lend a hand and help however they can. What makes you hopeful? What
Trust.
Nice.
First of all, trust.
Yeah.
Huge trust of people to us, and this is what, of course, gives us a huge sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
And this is why we are having the meetings like every day, so to understand, to analyze what kind of the response and what kind of structures we need to build.
Yeah.
When the stage of emergency response was over, when we realized that we now need to think more strategically, we have built the strategy which also includes the movement strengthening components, which is the capacity building.
Yeah.
So it means when the organizations are applying to YMCA Europe for the funds, so to support Ukrainian refugees and internally displaced people, we kindly ask them to answer some questions about the capacity building elements, so this impact is sustainable.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah.
So the impact is sustainable.
Yeah.
So these services can be provided mid-term and long-term. Do you need to educate staff, volunteers? Probably we are sure that you need to hire new staff. So you are more strong actually to provide these new services for many organizations. Or property, do you need to invest in property? So these are the examples, and this is a huge responsibility. But the sense of community is so strong that it gives hope every day.
Yeah, I love that.
That's the inspiration.
That's it.
That's the
Yeah.
inspiration. That's the motivation that we continue to need to be. And in the midst of all this, I think about the YMCA. It's not just today, but always. When things have gone on, the YMCA has been there, and you guys are leading this charge. You send it from the ground level on. I mean, so what's next in this? You know, I know we still have the war that's going on right now. We still got people crossing the border. A lot of stuff that is going on. What else? What's next that is needed? Whether that's from other YMCA's or whether that's from people on the ground. What else is needed?
We have to continue. We have to continue because. First of all, no one knows when it ends and how it ends.
Yep.
And the consequences will be long-term anyway.
Yep.
Even this health ends today. We will deal with the consequences in the whole Europe for long term. And 2 million sounds like a big sum, but we have so many local and national organizations working on the ground like every day with thousands of people.
Yeah.
So what we are doing from YMCA Europe, we have just adopted the strategy. We have put a new element which is called response. Okay. So several days ago we have created a change in the strategy so to have basement for our further work, and we continue fundraising. We continue fundraising, working with public and private funds, and this is what we can tell to other people. Let's continue fundraising together because this story is not ending today.
That's nice.
Absolutely.
That's nice.
And so the thing that I don't miss is that even in all of this that's going on and you all are working around the clock to help others, you're experiencing it too, right? Like there are stressors and there are things that you see and your emotions are involved. I mean, I can imagine this 14-year-old coming to you saying thank you. And so what do you all do to take care of yourself? Now, I know Alina go to the nail shop, so we need to go together while we're here. But what do you guys do to take care of yourselves in this time so that you can stay strong to continue to help youth and to continue to lead YMCA Romania and the YMCA in Europe?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite lost for words because it's hard to be taking care of yourself when you're focused on trying to help others. I've been feeling very lost and almost guilty to be far away in a safe place, knowing that my family is in Ukraine. And but I realized after weeks of endless hours of work and volunteering that you cannot go on like that. And it's really basic things like going out after work to have a walk outside, be in the nature, give yourself a break, not necessarily push yourself to the limit, both physically and emotionally. If you want to stay on your own, not really interact with people for a while to really get back to your safe space within yourself. And definitely talking to the family, like staying in touch with the people on the ground, the people who are living this hell every day. And it really inspires me personally to stay in touch with my loved ones, with mom and dad and my brother and my cousins and the family, because sometimes I feel like I'm getting frustrated and hopeless and helpless and I'm about to cry, and then I call my family and they are there sitting in a bomb shelter during an air raid siren, laughing and smiling and telling me how they miss me and telling me what they had for lunch and sharing stories about our cat. And I find myself humbled by this experience and being so proud of them. And this makes the world of difference. I just hang up and I understand that all is fine. People are still resilient. People are still optimistic. No matter what happens, they have faith and they have faith in victory.
How about you, Alina? How are you taking care of you?
Well, that's, as Marta said, very good question. We are trying to prioritize. the entire team, after 2 months being every weekend in a shift of 8 hours at the border, we really felt that we are almost exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we need to prioritize, but also thanks to the support of YMCA Europe, we increased our human resource capacities, and we are talking a lot in the team.
Yeah.
We are doing a lot of sharings and debriefs that helps.
Yeah.
And also somehow the entire rush of the first 2 months, now it's more focused,
Yeah.
probably.
Yep.
And I'm not saying it's a calm, because every day is a challenge.
Yeah.
But things are more structured, and this give us a little bit of more time to digest, to understand what is happening, as we say it, to ventilate ourselves.
Yeah.
And also to take time for ourselves in turns, so we can go back the next day and smile and welcome our members with peace and joy.
I love that.
Nice.
And definitely want to hear from you, Olga. Like, how are you taking care of yourself?
This is difficult. Like at the first months, I was following basic tips of psychologists,
Yeah.
like making ourselves sleep and eat and drink water, and not to forget to breathe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to forget to breathe.
Yeah.
But then we agreed with the friends that when we need a call and a chat, we do it.
Yeah.
Whenever it happens, night, day, we're working or not working, but it was agreement, 3 of us, that we are supporting each other. And when there are feelings which you need to express to someone,
Yeah.
and just say, hey, my dear friends,
Yeah.
I'm now calling you and telling how
Yep.
I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys just dropped some nuggets in there in terms of just how
Love it.
that self-care part of things.
Yeah.
And, even though stress is at its peak, you guys have each other to support on. You have your family that you can call on. It's so powerful. What about our friends in Russia, our YMCA friends in Russia? What's the conversation like that with them?
I think I can start answering this question, because definitely me as executive secretary for movement strengthening, I've been working with YMCAs of Ukraine, Belarus and Russia for many years. And we have been working together in joint projects. And we had annual meetings on governance, camp conference, leadership development, and so on and so forth. And I'm Belarusian myself, and you know that Belarus is really like now in between of
Yeah.
two countries,
Yeah.
and it's very difficult what is happening now. So I had conversations definitely with the leaders in YMCA of Russia and many Russian friends, and they were, like the first weeks, they were speechless.
Yeah.
They were speechless. They didn't know what should come out from their mouths,
Right.
so to express it.
Yeah.
Because this is a mixture of feeling of guilty,
Yep.
Yeah.
of the hell which is happening,
Yep.
of course, like great sadness. I cannot find the word. Yeah, sadness probably not the right one. Yeah, but grieve.
Yep.
Yeah, that this is happening. Compassion, and also not understanding what's possible to do.
Yeah.
And expectations of hatred, which we agreed
Wow.
together that we are ready to expect, and we are ready to shut up if we face it.
Yeah.
This is what probably will come, and we need to keep silent, wait, be wise, and understand that in some years, hopefully, we will speak again,
Yeah.
and be possible to be partners again and work together.
Wow.
Extremely, extremely difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. So hopefully, and I'm claiming it right now, this podcast will not just be for the folks who are here with us at World Council today or the folks that are joining online, but thousands of people from around the world at a later date, what do each one of you want to leave them with? Like, what is the call to action? What do you want them to know? What do you want them to say? What do you want to say to them about you, about your efforts, about your nails, Olga? I mean, Alina, whatever. Like, what do you want to say to them?
Yes, I want to say one thing, that we are extremely grateful.
Yeah.
Because for all the support, financial, in knowledge, in everywhere, and for the care.
Yeah.
As I was sharing the previous days, we have a young team of professionals and volunteers who are serving in minus 10 degrees Celsius at the borders for so many days and nights. And now on a daily basis. And for them, and for us as a YMCA Romania movement, means a lot knowing that we are not alone there.
Yeah.
And we really feel that the entire YMCA family, collectively, we are one there.
Yeah.
And this is an ultimate empowerment. And this also gives us peace and drive to move on.
Yeah.
So huge gratitude for all of you.
Absolutely. We're praying for you. Absolutely. What about you, Marta? What do you want everyone to know?
Yes, the thank you message is very strong, and I definitely share it. But to keep it different, I would probably encourage people not to forget. It's natural that we keep living their lives. We have to.
Yeah.
Life goes on. The war is dragged in time. You cannot only focus on the negative, but to not turn the blind eye, to not forget, to also not blame yourself for living your life, but also to remember that there are still people suffering.
Yeah.
And maybe having a little routine of doing some little small acts of kindness that you can do wherever you are, sending this little donation or calling your friend you know in Ukraine who needs support, or talking to someone, little things that really help on a big scale. Not really forgetting that this is happening. Ukraine is not on the news that much anymore, but the war is still there.
It's still there.
People are still suffering. But also another side to this message is, yes, please do remember what is happening in Ukraine, and please do whatever you can so that people don't forget. But also let us remember there are other conflicts in the world that are happening. And I myself keep telling everyone how privileged I feel to be a European, to understand that my country is on the news and people are talking about this war and helping from all over the world. But I'm still aware that there are other wars taking place in the world and other conflicts and all the injustice, and we cannot just pretend that it's not there.
Yeah.
So really remembering about it and acting upon it is my message today.
Nice. I love that. And Olga, what do you want to leave folks with?
We are talking about YMCA as a value-based movement, not even an organization, but movement, value-based movement. What does it mean? What does it mean? I think that this very, very sad example in Europe showed us what it can mean.
Yeah.
So this is an example how YMCA as a value-based movement acts. And this is something to be proud of.
Yeah.
This is something to be proud of, because we acted as a family, we acted as a community, and now these are not just words. These are real things happening, because people were acting in every corner in this world.
Yeah.
Every corner in this world,
Yeah.
the response was coming to. So thank you, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Olga Lukina, Marta Guretska, and Alina Pop. Thank you, ladies. You were an amazing way to start this podcast series. I am praying for you and with you. You guys are doing amazing, amazing things. Thank you.
Love that you all talk about family. And
Yeah.
how the YMCA is truly that.
Just truly a family.
All over the world, and we come together and make sure things get worked out.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Causenetic family, for listening to us today at World Council.
Yes, on this episode called Strength and Resilience. Yes, yes,
Hey,
yes,
look,
yes.
subscribe in and listen to us weekly.
And don't be shy. We love them 5-star reviews. Sure do, sure do.
And as always,
Be dynamic.
be phenomenal.
Be
Causenetic.
cosmetic.
Man.
Oh man, I said I ain't gonna fog up my glasses up here.
I
I'm not
know.
gonna cry.
I tell you what, I'm about to pull out that white handkerchief, boy.
Whew. Thank you, ladies. Y'all were